All right, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Lemax Forsaken Souls Prison. Let's get into it. Okay, so the Forsaken Souls Prison, this one's interesting. It was a 1-year exclusive, okay? It came out in 2007 and was retired in 2008. So out the gate, it's unique already. It was obviously an exclusive to Lemax, but it was not a Michaels exclusive to my knowledge and research. So it was available everywhere, but it was only for the 1 year. Let me give you some dimensions. Not the biggest house in the world. It's 6.77 inches high, 8.7 inches wide, and 6.54 in depth. So again, not huge, but it is really cool looking, and we're going to get to some close-up shots here in a minute, but I want to give you a couple extra details here. When it came out, it was only $49.99, and that is probably a steal for considering what you got, especially at the time. It was really a unique piece. It was a prison, and there's not many things too often that come out in that kind of a theme. And for me, I kind of think that's really spooky. So I really like that, and I thought for the price, it was definitely priced appropriately. However, today they're going for about $175, and that's in the off season. So I imagine that when things get closer to the spookier season, that these jump probably quite a bit. And again, they're always going to jump when they're exclusive like this, especially a 1-year jump. And to be completely honest, I was kind of surprised that it was only at $175. Now, yes, that's 3 times the price of when it came out, but there's a lot of houses that had way longer runs that go for 10 times that amount. So I don't know. I think there's a couple reasons why that might be the case, and we're going to get into those here in a moment. But anyways, it is 3 times the original price, so it is a lot of money. But you know, for the exclusivity, is that how you say it? Yeah, exclusivity. Oh gosh. Anyways, it's really cool. That's the point. Also, I'd like to note that this is a standard 4.5 volt house or adapter, however you want to look at it. Nothing special there, standard pin, standard everything, just the regular normal 4.5 volt. Probably have quite a few of them laying around. Anyways, let's take a little closer look here. My first thoughts on this were obviously the size wasn't as big as I was expecting. I don't know why. I think maybe because it looked so tall in the pictures, I assumed that it was bigger than it was. But it does feel like the scale of this one might be slightly smaller maybe than the normal Lemax scale. I don't know, or maybe because it's so tall and it's a little short that it makes it look that way. I don't know. It's still cool and it wouldn't look funny or anything. Just sitting by itself and, you know, being up close with these houses all the time, I kind of noticed that to me it felt a little squished down maybe. I don't know. But anyway, still cool. Not a big deal. Nothing to worry about there. Just wanted to note that for you. Also, it doesn't have a soundtrack. And I think that's probably a big part of why the price on this hasn't skyrocketed more than it is at the moment. Soundtracks are really important. And when you're going to do a 1-year run, a super exclusive piece, yes, a prison was a good choice, but I think a soundtrack probably would have been a good call. So I would hope that when they do exclusive pieces, you know, 1-year runs in the future, that they do have soundtracks. But that is one thing about this house that you really, really wish it had, because it could have been really spooky. I mean, looking at it already, you're like a little eerie, but definitely had it had a soundtrack, I think it just would have been on a whole new level. Even if it was something basic, you know, just something. But, you know, it is what it is. So there's plenty of houses around it that I'm sure will make all the noise in the world that you want. I personally run a soundtrack on my village anyway, so I turn most of the sound off in the houses to begin with. So moving forward, there's a lot of really nice details. So that's what you do get with this house, is a just boatload of detail. So as you can see, just in the roof alone, there's a lot of detail. Almost reminds me of like kind of down the Haunted Mansion road, if you've ever been to Disneyland. They have like that, I don't know, old school bars on top. I don't know what the proper name for it is, but I don't know, kind of gave me that feel. I like the little gargoyles here on top, trying to get it to focus for you here. I don't know if I can. There we go. Anyway, moving forward, you have a prisoner trying to escape, tying a bunch of sheets together. That was a really cool effect. I thought that was just perfect for this. And again, he's got I think that's a saw, and his hands coming out, and it's got a spooky green light there in the background. Really, really cool. Also, the windows here, they are constantly changing colors. Each window has its own color and its own little, like, I don't know, scene, I guess you could say. It looks like it's kind of like a black image, and you're kind of seeing the outlines of everything. I forgot what the proper term for that kind of art is, but anyways, it's really cool though, because they're clear. You can very clearly see what's going on in them, and the fact that they're constantly changing, that's a really nice effect, and kind of helps with not having a soundtrack. So I think that was a good call. Also, the brickwork, super detailed. You know, really fine handwork on that, on those original molds that they did in sculpting and whatnot. Of course, we got the sign, the Forsaken Souls Prison. So if you're going in there, you know, you've probably done something bad. There's a sign here, though, that's kind of interesting. It basically says that the prison is condemned and no trespassing, yet there's still a lot of action going on inside. So clearly something spooky is happening here. We have a guard down here that seems to be dead on the job. At least that's what it appears like to me. And I really like the guard tower. You'll see when I turn out the lights, there's like a dark UV light in there, and it kind of illuminates some skull outlines and stuff. It's really cool. It's hard to see in the light because it's not the brightest thing in the world, but when I hit the lights, you'll definitely see that. So again, really cool. There's a lot of little details, fence pieces, barbed wire, whatever, you know, I mean, the gates. There's just some really cool stuff. It would fit well in everything from, believe it or not, like a graveyard out front would be killer, or just, you know, just anywhere. It just, I don't know, it just says Halloween to me. I really like this house. This was one I've wanted for an extremely long time. I always just thought it had the coolest thing. Little surprised about the soundtrack, especially being a one-year exclusive, but like I said earlier, you know, it's fine. It's a really cool house. Anybody that collects Lemax stuff, this would probably be one you would want to have. And yes, it's, you know, $175 at the moment, but you never know when you're going to find one, you know, on some kind of site or something, like a Craigslist or whatever. So anyways, overall, I really like this house. I would recommend it to anyone who's looking to add just that little different spice, not just that everyday thing. You know, like, it's one thing to add houses and to get bigger villages and things like that, but it's every once in a while houses come along that have their own unique feel, that add a different kind of spice, if you will, and this is definitely one of them. So I really like this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.